te nowe infrastruktura reprezentacyjna była o wysokim standardzie. Czyli biorąc tu na przykład do przemysł whisky, tak, bez odpowiedniej reprezentacji na zewnątrz, w postaci ambassad oczywiście w wysokich standardach, bo na pewno ta sprzedaż może znacznie spaść. Po prostu nie będziemy mieli odpowiedniej reprezentacji o wysokich standardach na przykład w mniejszych krajach. Tak? I tak właśnie chciałem powiedzieć, jeżeli chodzi tutaj o radykalnym socjaliście, jesteśmy tutaj przed kampanią typu tylko tak czy nie tak, więc nie zapominajmy o tym, jeżeli chodzi o Margaret Thatcher, czy kto zniszczył tak tutaj stocznie i byłem przeczytany się zgubię, już w ogóle
Thank you. I'll be happy to take another couple of your own questions if anyone else, would like to ask anything.
Yes, I would like to ask.
Yes, please. By the way.
So for me, it's just male and male is just it's easy because I know what's happening. I'm in Scotland 7 years old. Sorry, I live in Scotland 7 years. 7 years ago I came to Scotland, so I know the country and I know what can I expect from your guys. I don't know anything what's going on, what's going to happen. And again, Alex Salmon is actually, I watched a few weeks ago the debate on BBC. Actually, he couldn't answer for any questions. He couldn't answer for any kind of question properly. So this way, I'm just a little confused what's going to happen in Scotland, what's going to happen with Polish people. Marty also mentioned about if we will be independent, we will be in European Union. We are already in European Union, and I'm not agree with this because we will be out of European Union, and this is why David mentioned the time, 18 months or maybe 6 years. It will be very confusing for the Polish people if there will be visas or if our family need to require permission to come to visit us. So, like I said, this way I already know what I can expect and I can travel with no restrictions and no problem. For your gentlemen, I'm confused. Also, the last question, sorry, regarding benefits. Scotland's got the highest percentage regarding Scottish people receive every national receives benefits. So, if we will be independent, how you will pay for the 100,000 benefits? If we are together, there is the cost cut for all countries, and it will be easier for us. But if Scotland will have money to pay for all the benefits people, there's more like 70% or 80% people on benefits just right now in the housings.
Szybko przetłumacz pytanie, tak? Akurat nie trzeba...
Is there need to translate everything or not? Guys.
I'm more than happy to. He's just desperate to get the mic off. First of all, you said you've been in Scotland for 7 years, and the SNP government came in 2007 actually, so what you're used to is the SNP being in government in Scotland. I think there was a time when people could have argued that it was change versus no change, but that's not what's going to happen. The parties of the No campaign have said they'll bring forward more powers for Scotland. There's no one platform for them all, but each of the different parties will bring something new forward. If there's a yes vote, we've set out in this document what our proposals are for Scotland, and there's a great deal of detail around both citizenship and benefits and so on. If there's a no vote, it's not the case that it will be more of the same. For a start, the UK Chancellor said there will be £25 billion worth of cuts in the event of a no vote. If there's a no vote and the UK government is re-elected that you have right now, they are committed to an in-out referendum in Europe. Now, Now, they are terrified of the United Kingdom Independence Party, who got the best ever result in the UK in their history in the last European elections. And I put it to you that that government will pander to that what they perceive to be a political threat to their establishment. That's why I say to you, it's not a case of change versus no change. There will be change, it's a question of what kind of change. But I am convinced that Scotland is far more egalitarian, more socially just, and frankly more pro-European than it would appear in many of our counterparts in the rest of the United Kingdom, who have elected a UK government that doesn't stand up for us. In terms of your question around passports and citizenship, we would want that continuity. The Polish community add so much to Scotland. Actually, we might be a nation of immigration, but most of our people leave as well and have travelled the world, 20 million descendants of Scots. See, now you don't need to translate, you don't need to worry about it all. But so we're a nation that I think wants that continuity, wants that diversity, and wouldn't want to make it more difficult. So we want the European Union membership to continue. We will negotiate. This is the difference. When David was talking about enlargement, he was talking about countries that weren't currently part of the European Union. We'll be negotiating from within. Now, David's been quite pragmatic and reasonable, so will I be. I don't think it'll be over like that. Most of, I think, the key issues will take time to address, but within 18 months, I am convinced that our membership will be continuous, because I was saying to you earlier, what benefit would there be to any nation within Europe to expel us? To say to their citizens, you're no longer welcome to go to Scotland or to come here, or to trade or free travel or education, or benefit from the immense resources that Scotland has. So I just think that I'm being pragmatic to say that membership will continue, and in terms of the arrangements for free travel and so on, we will want continuity there, absolutely. And your final point, because there were great questions, was the affordability of benefits in Scotland. Actually, in terms of our economic output, the figure for social protection in Scotland, so that's pensions, benefits and everything else, in terms of that ratio to GDP is 38%, in the United Kingdom it's 42%, so actually the benefits regime is more affordable in Scotland simply because of the GDP output that we create as a country. So we're not bedevilled by this, kind of subsidy mentality that some folk would have us believe. Of course, run the costings of what we raise in Scotland are called the GER statistics, that shows we're actually fiscally, financially better off than the rest of the United Kingdom. So I think that's the best I can do to answer your questions, and there's more in the white paper. I think I'm just desperate to say something.
Don't strangle it. On 2 points, if I may. Firstly, I genuinely hope that Derek would be right if we didn't become independent, that there would be continuity of membership. But we are dealing with a political process here, and there are countries in the European Union who are looking inside their own borders frankly, with fear, and they would not punish Scotland because they want to punish Scotland, but they do not want to set a good or a bad example. So Spain would make it as awkward as possible for Scotland to have continuity of membership. Belgium would make it as impossible as it could for Scotland to have continuity of membership. Italy would, Romania would, possibly even Portugal. There are numerous countries who would feel threatened by Scottish independence because of what it might mean for their own countries. On benefits, if I may quickly, again, I partially agree with Derek. I don't think the problem is with housing benefit or employment benefit. But there is a problem with guys like me, frankly. The whole white paper is predicated on building a city, not a city, but a population the equivalent of the size of Edinburgh every 20 years in order, through migration, in order to pay for pensions, because the indigenous Scots are getting older. And it's the kids, we're delighted to see here, running around here, who the Scottish Government plan to pay for people like me's pension in 20 years' time. That's how they're planning to do it, by bringing 480,000 people every 20 years from other countries in order to work to pay pensions for people like myself.
Thank you. We've got time for one, maybe two questions before we'll ask a summary from both sides. Would anybody say anything on this kind of.
Yeah, so I'd like to first, again, that's the same question because you haven't answered close to the question. I read the white paper and it's really a lot of estimations pretty much. There's no balance. There's no like, that's when I comes to this and that overall somehow. So to me, it looks like it's completely unprepared. So those at least 2 years to set proper vision, and there's nothing like that, except this really big paper which says quite a lot about welfare, but not about how you're going to pay for that. And I'm working on gas and oil, which I know that most companies are not even Scottish. That's how you are to actually do which are foreign companies. So I'll just ask one question. What's yours negotiation position, and what assets you guys to negotiate all the positions, all of the work, because you have to do it from day one? And actually, I'll ask the other question as well. Since SNP were at the Titan and the nuclear power, and as we all know what's happening all over the world, how Scotland would like to protect their borders with a much smaller army and being weaker, smaller country into a weaker country. If you were talking about Norway, comparison to Norway, everyone who read history of Norway knows that although Norway started in 1976, then from 1981, right-wing government started cuts, and that's how they build their funds. And now they've got a fund, and that's their negotiation position. So Scotland started to see that. I do believe that independence might be beneficial, but I just don't see any facts, figures, and okay, that's how the negotiation position is going to force this.
Okay, some of the key figures that